right, fam. Welcome to another episode of Late Night GM. It's a very special one from an amazing, talented friend of ours, CAS, who just brought you that amazing intro there. We have CAS on the line. CAS, thanks for joining us, buddy. How's it going?
Hey, I'm glad to be here in the virtual, not virtual studios of Late Night GM. And yeah, super excited to be part of this and add a little something to the show tonight.
Yeah, it's good having you, buddy. I love your music is a vibe, man. I really appreciate you doing that for us. It's added that little special touch that the intro needed for sure. And this is like merging worlds, like in real time, right?
Merged all of the worlds. I mean, definitely cool to see how you guys have done things, taking digital identities from IRL to whatever this world is now that we're in. But yeah, it's really fun to just see it spreading and growing, and you guys keep doing your thing and had to come and support. My eyes are twitching like hell. Might be the jet lag, y'all. Sorry.
I fight metaverse traffic every single time I'm trying to get here. It's a bitch. And
It is crazy.
you're flying in from the other side of nowhere, so I don't know. You must be exhausted.
Yeah. I mean, I heard you we had that warm up session in the green room, and you were yelling at some of the metaverse citizens trying to attack you. Seems like a real rough world over there that you're in.
It's a brutal room. That green room, I don't know. At one point, the door lock, it got broken. Mike has not fixed it yet. Hoodlums just coming in there left and right. Alt and I are being accosted.
Yeah, we need to bring some weapons into the green room next time to defend ourselves.
We need better security. That's what I think. The next investment after MetaHeads goes to a billion, kajillion, trizillion ETH, you guys will have the best security in the metaverse. That's what
we need like a little on-set pit bull. Like, can we get Foray in here on staff? Like, she would put people in their place real fast.
I love it. I was just thinking if I was going to get any security guard, I want Steve from the Jerry Springer show. So like, it can look like he wants to hold you back, but he's not really going to. Security would effectively not be there still, but at least they'd be entertained.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're gonna get attacked by hoodlums when you get ready for set, you might as well have fun with it and make content out of it.
Yeah, get the best bang for your buck. So yeah, I want to talk to you a bit about your digital identity, right? Because that's kind of the subject of the day. What man, did you have any background in like using an avatar or using like any sort of like online identity before you got into the Clone X ecosystem?
Yeah, I didn't have any digital identity experience. It wasn't on my resume. I didn't didn't do any yeah, metaverse or virtual world building stuff, but I was really deep into social media. Always kind of been one of those people who've been deep into like online experiences, whether it be like early Instagram days, early TikTok stuff. I've always been a fan of YouTube since, yeah, like back when it was only cats being uploaded. Like you only saw like videos of like random things. That waffles, I want waffle fries video. Oh man, I don't even want to go down.
It's a rabbit hole, my friend.
Yeah, YouTube memes are different. You're gonna have to like superimpose like a Rickroll right here or something.
Oh yeah, anytime. I can do it anytime. Yeah. Any excuse to Rickroll people.
Yeah, and I feel like it'll be so fitting because you are the king of that. But anyways, to give you the long story short, I was really last deep on like TikTok, doing a lot of content creation, and I thought it was fun. It was cool to see how their algorithm really promoted like community building and like networking within interest groups and friends. But once I realized what like NFTs were, and I saw where things were going with how groups were kind of banding together behind like digital projects and building identity, yeah, CloneX made so much sense just because of the environment, the energy, everybody that exists in our little social group. It's yeah, it's way too cool to pass up. So I just dove right in, and here we are, a year plus later.
Dude, that's so bad. Okay, so let me ask you this. So, since you kind of are already, well versed with an online identity, it just wasn't quite digital yet. How do you feel? Like, do you feel a difference? How attached are you now to your avatar, your beautiful clone that we're seeing here?
my my forever clone, the cursed word for any PFP project, because I feel like half the people out there are ready to say that and then like say it. It's like marriage almost. It's like it's literally a 50-50. Like we know half the people are ready to actually commit, but the other half is like, they might have some thoughts. They might be looking around.
I
But
mean,
no,
statistically speaking,
yeah.
50% of PFP forever clones or forever PFPs end in divorce.
Yeah. This was a statistic that you can quote me on. Yeah, but I think for me, it's hard now. I can't really think about uh having an identity outside of the clone that I use now. But at the same time, I also want to not tie myself completely to one identity, because I'm one of those people in real life where I'm very just open minded. I don't really identify with a whole lot of concepts around like race and religion, and I'm just very much me. So it is funny to think that this digital PFP kind of has more of a chokehold on like identity than like some of the other things that I would consider IRL. But I think the reason it is because we're also at this place where we're the first people to make these things happen, where we haven't seen a whole lot of NFT projects where you have a digital identity for 5+ years. Like we have some projects out there that are going to get there soon with like punks and apes because they're a little bit ahead of others. But being part of that first group where you can kind of mark your claim on the new world with just your identity that you create is really cool. And so we'll definitely keep pushing it and doing what I can with my clone.
Yeah, well, I think like you're one of the few that has like that duality of like your clone is iconic and recognizable, but so are you, my guy. Like you, like when I see you as you, like yeah. So you managed to juggle both, which is really impressive. I it's very inspirational. Like I obviously went all into just the digital form myself, but yeah, I don't have that skill set to do both. I actually like to lean into the digital side to kind of leave some of those expectations and anxieties and things of Web 2, right? But yeah, I guess you probably conquered that at a much earlier time, which I really respect.
It's funny that you say that. I actually still am one of those people that I was always camera shy beforehand, and I didn't really always want to be the person that's like at the forefront of the camera, the scene, or social media in general. But I definitely learned how to rip the band-aid off and just go with a post-it kind of mentality. Post it, worry about it later concepts. But no, I think it's cool though, because also we've met in the metaverse, we've met on the road to the metaverse, we've had all sorts of connections. And so when I think of you, I definitely think of your digital identity first, even though if you're like in the green room, no makeup on, and I see the real Alt with no 8 arms, it's still 100% you from the metaverse. Which is it's super cool.
That's cool. I appreciate that. I mean, I feel naked without my arms, though. I'll tell you that.
I mean, they seem like they'd keep you warm.
He gets the best hugs even when he's not expecting it.
Yeah.
Cass, I got a question for you. Being out in the community, listening to people talk, like how did your life change once you kind of made the leap from being a community member who was really a pillar in the community, just hosting spaces all the time, to actually becoming part of the team? You know, like, I would speculate that kind of makes it, I don't know, like, you can't say as much, but that's just me from the outside looking in. I'd be curious to hear what you think. And I'm sure the community would have, like, you know, entertained that thought as well.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely missed some days, the free flowing just wildness of being able to say whatever I wanted to say, having my speculative thoughts, kind of throwing them out there, and now kind of seeing behind the curtain. One, realizing some of those speculative thoughts might have been right, some of them might have been wrong, but also how we go about, throwing that stuff out there. It does change a little bit since I'm on the team now. And I think the main thing is it's just like a responsibility that I feel. I don't want people to come into whatever we're doing with clones, artifact, etc., and they hear, this is gonna take you to, 100,000x, and this is gonna be
Wait. It's not. I'm out.
Sell them all.
That's the end of the episode, folks.
And we're retired. No, sorry, I can help myself.
But yeah, for me, I just think it's a responsibility at this point where I want to make sure that people who are joining, they are understanding why they're, understand that they're what they're joining, why they are, and we give as much of the right information as possible. And the other side of it is there's a lot of things that Artifact is always working on that does have levels of secrecy and partnerships and different concepts that are being fleshed out that we want to make sure are right for people. And so it's a whirlwind of different things that are going on, and I know a lot of people want to hear all of the ins and outs. So yeah, it's a little bit more of a balance, I'd say, trying to just basically bridge that understanding of what's happening on the back end and what everybody kind of wants to see, and whether that be communicating what's kind of going on, or if it's bringing in some of those feedback points to the team. I'm always just kind of bridging worlds, merging worlds of sorts, huh? That old phrase.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I've got a ton of respect for the CAS yourself and then the others that have crossed the line, because if it was Ethelorian, I'd be nervous that I would get all fucking hopped up for a second, excuse my language, and then say something I shouldn't say. You guys show extreme restraint, and there's a ton of respect for the professionalism there. I like being the wild card that can say whatever he wants.
Yeah, ETH revels in that. Yeah, I can attest. No, I agree 100%. Like, you've done a great job kind of transitioning, your responsibilities, right? Like, because I think you took the flag, man. Like, you were one of the few early ones that took the community flag and ran with it, and took that responsibility to kind of help, make sure everyone is safe and educated, and that the vibes are good and the values are right. And then the team, of course, they identified with that, as did the community. And congrats again, man. They made such an amazing choice bringing you on board, brother. And I love how you've kind of just even raised the bar even more. We're bummed that we don't get to hang out with you as much as often, but you're doing so much more on the back end that we don't even know about, I'm sure, right? So I'm excited for you and kind of where it's where you're headed moving forward, my guy.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and it's been crazy. I was obviously inspired by guys like you, Alds, Ethelorian. Shout out to Zach Rubin, the Dylan, Slav, some of the other early spaces hosts and clone influencer types. And I wouldn't even, as well, you guys do have status and people recognize you. I don't like throwing the word influencer out there because it almost degrades what what a lot of you guys were doing and what we've kind of built together. But yeah, it was just cool to meet a group of people that were similar minded, and they weren't shoving me out the room the moment like you try to talk or like speak up, because I think that was like the thing with a lot of early communities that I first found, where I just didn't really feel like I was a part of them, or like, I'd kind of hang out in the Discord, and I would like kind of meet some people like cool to chat with. But with the clone group, it was really just a very much kind of open door, come in, say your piece, people would actually like listen and respond thoughtfully. And that was yeah, that was telling for me. And so I was like, all right, I got to stick around and see what's going on here.
No, I mean it's so great, and the friendships we've already made in this community, like man, they're lifelong friendships, all right? It's so amazing. But if you are feeling lonely, there is an option for you in Web3. That's actually our sponsor, Clone Panion. So we're gonna take a commercial break, and we're gonna watch an ad from Clone Panion, and then we'll see you guys back in a sec.
Nope, sucker.
Has Web3 got you feeling lonely? Are you so early you don't have any friends? Do you wish you had a counterparty to explore the multiverse with? Well, look no further. Introducing Clone Panion, the yin to your yang, the PB to your jelly. No longer will you be bored, sad, or in a state of confusion. We focus on one or more of your glaring traits and select a Clone Panion that's perfectly crafted for you. Our trained technicians aren't actually trained, but have done well most of the time. The procedure is relatively painful, and you should be back up on your feet within a few weeks. We can't guarantee a delivery date, so we recommend just waiting by your front door, or as soon as you're able to stand, that is. Your Clone Panion will be ready to roll straight out of the box. Take them to your local gym to show everyone the skills of your new best buddy. Plans for your days will be filled with nothing but fun, jubilation, and a dash of chaos. Call now and get your new best friend while supplies last. Please note, some Clone Panions have been known to be somewhat aggressive towards anyone interfering with your quality time.
If you or your CP develop an irrational fear of peers, please contact your nearest priest as soon as possible. Do your own research. This is not financial advice. Cannot guarantee your Clone Panion won't try to kill you.
Once again, thank you to our sponsor, Clone Panion. For all you clones out there feeling lonely, take advantage of the service. I, for one, completely throw the weight of my recommendation behind it. Alts, I know you do too.
Oh yeah, 100%. I've had some bear market times where I was feeling lonely, and Clone Panion really helped me out. So yeah, definitely take a look, fam.
Absolutely. And if your Clone Panion tries to kill you, not my problem. CAS. Yeah. So, CAS, I know that you are a creator, my friend. You have a creative spark, a desire that is outside of Artifact. In fact, you started posting some of your music out there for us to consume. You had your own little project going, it seems to me, about 8 months ago. Where's that at? And are you still pursuing that?
Yeah, so I still always working on music, different things. Been a little bit slower since I went full time with Artifact, just because there's a few things going on with the 9 to 5. Want to make sure that we take care of. But yeah, for me, music is like it's a necessity. I have to create regularly, or else I just mentally won't be happy with life or what I'm doing. And it's always been the goal, I'd say, to make something, or make an artistic career that just lasts or kind of has some sort of impact. So for that project that I released, it was with an EP that I put together, and it's really funny because that was actually just something that I saw as like my Web3 resume. I really wanted to just kind of show people. Once I had spent some time in the space, I was like, all right, I really just need to put out a project to show people like what I can do across video editing. I was messing around with 3D software to start with around then, and I mix and master, produce all my own music as well. So for me, it was just really fun to kind of throw all of that stuff together, put it in a project, and then put it out there. And I'll definitely be doing more of that soon. So,
Dope.
Just stay tuned.
Can't wait. Go ahead, Alts.
Yeah, no, I can't wait as well. I want to see some more stuff, and I'm really curious, like how you're going to evolve. Even like with your digital identity and your clone. Like, and seeing the music merge with that. If you do that at some point, that would be really cool as well.
Yeah, I'm one of those people, and so I think you kind of mentioned at the beginning. I've tried to keep a balance of my doxed image, I guess you'd say, and then my digital identity. And part of that's because I think for the future of where we're going music wise, and well, as even with just like identity in this space, there's gonna be a balance, and I'm gonna try and show that balance. It's always it always comes with a lot of moving parts and a lot of different ideas, but yeah, I like the idea of kind of blending both and not necessarily being tied to just one.
Well, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's kind of like the balance is the key word, right? It's like the yin and the yang, but it's also fluid. Like you might be like an 80-20 and then 50-50 and kind of back and forth, right? Depending on, where you're at in your journey. Yeah, so that's actually really beautiful. But yeah, speaking about identity and stuff, like now that I think about it, like how do we even know you're not an AI right now? Did anybody verify this guy?
I didn't click on any fire hydrants or sidewalks or any of those other captcha questions, so
I don't know. This
who
could be an
knows?
AI, man.
If
What did
only
they
we had. What did an AI tell you? No, an AI would not tell you.
That's what I tell everybody too. It's like AI, like they could already be sentient because if I was AI and I became sentient, I wouldn't say a word. I'd be like, let me just scheme for a few years with these stupid humans.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, would
have
you
you?
really though?
So
Because
have
then
you? Let me.
you'd be like
I'll
a
go ahead.
chat GPT answering like random questions that you don't want to answer when you know you're worth so much more.
Well, that's true. It'd be really frustrating for a while while
No.
you gathered all the information.
Yo, so this is an honest question. Do you guys use ChatGPT at all to answer the questions when you have to send like a form letter or some shit? Because I do that all the time. Whenever I'm feeling, yeah. Oh, when I'm lazy, I'm like, type up a form letter to this person. Here's the general description. I do it all the time.
I should I would say I would love to say that I take any like responses to DMs and just send chat GBT responses. But yeah, but I think my own thoughts through, unfortunately.
Oh man, can you imagine the burning hot FUD out there? Cass doesn't even talk to us.
Yeah.
It's all
Straight up.
Chat GPT. You heard it here.
So, Cass, have you played around with AI at all, like with music?
Dude, it's funny that you say that. I haven't done a whole lot of AI stuff with music or even in general. Like I haven't really touched any like the AI art stuff. I feel like it's because I've been like so just bogged down in like learning because I'm one of those people. I'm always learning instruments or I'm always working on some of the different things that I've got like kind of built out, and so some of those core skills that I have, I feel like I try to push those forward versus finding like the some of the new faster tools. Because if you look behind me, I've got a stupid amount of guitars. Like I can pick up a guitar and within like 5 seconds at any point that I exist. But I won't go and use like AI sample packs, which I know they're out there for music, where you can just like kind of put some prompts in it. It'll give you sad, slow guitar sound, and it'll be this really cool like guitar playing for whatever you prompted. But I don't know, something about the human element of making things, making your own little kind of creative mistakes and using that's what I love to do.
Yeah, I don't think AI is quite there yet. Anyways, like the authenticity of a human is way. It's still completely different right now.
Yeah, so that's a question. Is AI art soulless? Right? Because it's that human element that you guys are talking about. If you're going to make music, I mean, I play instruments myself, a lot of stringed instruments. And isn't that like the element that makes music ephemeral? Is like that soul, that other factor that you put into it, to performance, or that someone's put into it when they wrote it.
So I will agree and also disagree because I think you're right that there is like a level of of AI art that will be soulless. For example, I've seen like a rap generator where like it changes your voice to be like, you know, Kendrick Lamar or Drake, and like
Uh,
you hear it and it doesn't sound right. Like it sounds like them, but you're like, but it doesn't sound right. But at the same time, with like some AI 2D artists that I've seen, the conceptual and different like narrative like ideas that are kind of put into the prompts, that stuff can show a lot of like artistic, you know, genius and value that I'd say has some soul and feeling to it. So it's hard to say that it'll be completely, you know, non-human involvement, because there's always going to be someone at the end of the day who's either pushing a button to make something pop up, or they're going through and selecting what they want. And yeah, I think there's going to be a balance of, like everything else. There'll be people who use the tools to make things happen a little bit faster or differently or a little bit more creative, but then you'll also have some of those people, like you'll see where you're like, like that's just looks like just the AI that's coming out, you know?
yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of at a point still where, I mean, the line's gonna get blurred more and more as we, you know, move forward in time. But I think right now it's still like the best use case of AI is like, at least for me personally, like when I use AI, I like to use it like for inspiration, for concept design, to kind of get me along, like, instead of having to like plan out things a lot visually. It's to, you know, to put a lookbook together very specifically, right, to like help share my vision to other people. It's been an extremely valuable tool for that.
Yeah, and that stuff you can't like take for granted, because I've seen some of the crazy things that people are able to pull with AI art, and it's one of those like moments that I'm not a 2D drawer painting person. Like I have some growing knowledge and skill in 3D, but I'm still not there to the point where I could compete with how fast you could just create a prompt in AI and put out something that looks really, really cool. And it's dope that, you know, 3D artists are able to do things the way they do, 2D artists are able to do things the way they do. But sometimes someone sees like a pretty picture and they say, oh, wow, that's a pretty picture. They don't really care about the 80 hours that you put into the work.
Right.
And it's the same thing for music. I think Rick Rubin, he had an interview I listened to that said something similar, where he basically said, like, you know, people don't give a shit about how the music was made. They just care if it sounds good. So, you know, there will come a time where it doesn't matter if you're using a bunch of pre-recorded loops that people have made, or if you're using an AI generator that created half the song for you. It's just like, did you make something that kind of hits someone emotionally? And yeah, that's the most important part.
Well, I'll tell you this, like even just you having a music background where you've had to do it all yourself, that's going to give you a big leg up against the people that are just using AI for a vast majority of it, right? Like, because you understand like the fundamentals of, you know, what you're using, as opposed to someone that's just kind of piecing things together digitally. But it's interesting to see how, you know, AI will affect a lot of different mediums, like film, right? Like, you know, the future of film, I'm sure parts of that are already getting piecemealed out. But speaking of film, we have a sneak peek of a new film coming out called Black Mint Pass. East, should we go and show it to the audience right now? Let's do it. Let's play it. Roll it.
Hey, buddy. I need you to listen very carefully to what I'm saying, because there are lessons again and again throughout your whole life. And you gotta learn from these things, right? It's not what you do. It's when and where you do it. And who you do it to or with. If nobody sees it, it didn't happen.
Jimmy, he's 6. You really think that's the best thing to be telling your kid?
Yeah.
Still smelling like 10 keys. You couldn't stop me if you tried. Cause the devil is alive. The devil is alive. The devil is alive.
Jimmy, when When did you get out of Alcatraz?
Oh, that's nearly 10 years ago.
Well, it's wonderful to have you back in the neighborhood, son.
Okay, hopefully you all enjoyed that preview of Black Mint Pass. Just yet another of the fine works from the mad genius Alts Anonymous. Once again, we're here tonight on the set of Late Night GM. Alts, you got any new and interesting thoughts coming out of your head about maybe some feature films coming up?
Man, there's a lot of stuff rolling around in my head. And I will say this. I am talking to some people, collaborating on some stuff that I am insanely excited about. But it's too early for me to tease anything, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Hey.
I was gonna say, I remember seeing that clone movie in theaters. It was the most terrifying but amazing film that I've ever seen.
And thank you for being one of the few people that were the early adopters, right? That actually came to the premiere on Cyber in a loop pod. It was quite a fun experience.
So, all right, I got one mad genius over there. Alt says he's cooking some things up, but he's not giving me anything. CAS, musical mad genius. You got anything you want to tease right now, personally? Coming forward, no arm twisting, finger breaking.
To quote the great Alt Anonymous, I got some things cooking, and I've been talking to the people, and yeah. Is that exactly what he said? Wait, can we get the lines for what Alt just said?
Line. Run it back. That's close enough, fam. That's close enough.
Yeah, no, but to answer, I definitely do have some things I'm working on. I'm really excited because I have always liked creating big things or big ideas, and in the music industry and like the Web 2 world, it's really fast paced right now where everybody's just trying to put stuff out and make sure you got as much attention on everything as possible. But I feel like what I'm working on, I'll be able to hopefully take my time with it and make sure it's dope, finished, everything is the way it needs to be. And then when I show everybody will be excited and want to take part and jump into the fun. So, yeah.
All right, win mint.
Seconds away, Frank. Seconds away.
I was gonna say it'll probably be in about 5 to 6 years, and it'll cost 5 to 6 BTC.
All right.
So can I lock you down for 4, sir?
At this pace, so Bitcoin would be like $200 a pop. That's
yeah, exactly.
Pulling the rug.
Set our expectations low for the price. No.
Yeah.
But no, I'm hella excited to hear that you're working on something bigger. That's really awesome, fam.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys and this clone community and the space in general, I think there's just so many people pushing the boundaries and doing such dope stuff that it got to the point where I had to like scrap some ideas that I had because I was like, wow, this is just too small. Like everybody's doing such amazing things that I can't go and do something boring. And yeah, so I'm excited. I want to make sure whatever I do, it's gonna have all sorts of elements. All sorts of elements. I love to try and keep surprises and do some crafty things. So that's the only alpha I'll give you, is that there could be a whole lot of surprises in the in the mix.
All right. I like surprises, and we appreciate that little dash of alpha. And you're right, like this artifact and clone community is extremely inspirational, and you, my friend, you're an inspiration to all of us, and we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us. And we're looking forward to your project and all the work you're doing with the team. We really appreciate it, Bram.
Well, hey, it's been great joining you guys on Late Night GM. I'm always up late at night just hoping that I can catch a GM from one of you. And so it's great to just be here and actually get personally in the metaverse.
All right, we love you, my brother. And then Eve, you want to take us out?
Yeah, I'm still laughing because Cass said he likes to be crafty, and I've got like this mental image of him knitting an Afghan at home.
Yeah.
Like
I
fucking
do.
dying.
I have the worst knitting and sewing abilities. And so as much as I love trying to customize clothes, I am not going to be the person that will ever make clothes with a hand sewn for anybody or anything like that.
Okay, so we have limited one thing that your project is not. It's not
Hey.
hand sewn garments.
Yeah, I mean, I might have to talk to some people about that part. But, I look, well, we got to save any surprises that I can surprise you with for the future, because everyone's too smart in this space, and the more I talk, the more I want to allude to things that I'm working on. But I'll just let it be, and I'll just show everybody once it's ready, and hopefully I can come back on the podcast and display some things here.
Love it. All right. Well, I mean, Alts, if you want me to send it out, I'll send it out.
Ship it, brother.
Ship it. All right. Everyone, thanks for tuning in to yet another incredible episode of Late Night GM. Guest, CAS from Artifact. Thank you for showing up tonight, my man. It's been too long since we've had this kind of time to hang out. Looking forward to when we can get together again.